Hi viewers, let's see the app we are going to develop in the next couple of lessons. The app is connected to the Firebase database, right? And you will see there's a main menu where you got employee options and listing all employees. This table view controller we have put here, right? And when you click on employee details, you will be taken to a page where you can add, insert, search, delete employee data, right? So let us say in this Firebase database, you can see in the background, let's say I want to search for records and delete them, right? So let's say I select one and search. You can see it loads the data from the database. And let's say if I delete it, right, it deletes the data from the Firebase real-time database. That's awesome, right? So let's start. Let's say if you want to insert a new record, right? So you can say employee number one, let's say Anne, right? And let's say a salary of 50,000, right? And let's say Anne is from Melbourne, right? Awesome, right? If you click save, you can see it real time updates a Firebase database. That's wonderful, right? That's about search and delete. And let's say if you want to change the salary of J, right? So you say you can search for J first using the app, right? Let's say you search and it says salary of J is 30,000. Let's say you want to make it to 40,000, right? Let's say you're going to make it, change it to 40,000 and just click save, right? You will see that it gets updated in the real-time database. That's awesome. That's wonderful. So save, delete, search functions are working. Not only that, you can just go and change a few stuff. Let's see. Awesome. So then once you are done with that, you can swipe it and list all the employees, right? That's another feature of the app we are going to develop. So you can see the data. Say, let's say you got 1, 2, 4, right? So let's say see one Peter, Anne, and Jay is there. Let's swipe this down and let's insert a new record, right? Let's say we insert record number 3. Let's put some sample data here. Okay, so let's save the data for Frank, right? Awesome. And now if you swipe down and if you go and check the list of employees, you can see Frank is there. That's an awesome feature of this app, right? And there's another nice thing of this app, right? Another awesome feature. So if multiple users, just assume if multiple users are viewing this app, right? The app you are going to develop has real-time synchronization features, right? Just assume these are two users using the app, right? And if one user add a new employee, let us say a new employee record, let's go to the bottom, say employee record 5, let me put the data first. So just assume if one user save, see what will happen to the other user phone, right? So if I click save Mary's details, awesome. See, the database got updated and on real-time synchronization, the next user will see the data being inserted, right? So that is an awesome feature of this app you are going to develop. But it's very important that you have to make sure to look at the next couple of lectures in Firebase database programming, that is part 2, part 3, until we complete this app. It explains all the theory and the practical knowledge which you need to know about developing this app, right? Okay friends, we are very excited to show you how to develop this app practically, and let's do it now. Okay viewers, so the following is the outcome of this part of the lesson. When you complete this part of the lesson, your app will look like this until you complete the other parts of the lesson, right? So you will be able to delete data from the database. Let's see how it looks. Let's say you want to delete employee number 3, right? You see number 3 and click delete, right? And you can see it gives a message and it deletes the data from the database, right? So it's very interesting, right? Now our next lesson is before we delete, you would like to search. Let us say you would like to search for number 4 and click search button, right? And search and then do some updates and stuff like that, right? That is in the next lesson, right? So this is what you will be learning in this lesson. But after you complete this lesson, make sure to go and look at the next lessons in order to complete the full app demonstrated earlier. Hi viewers. So the lesson is Firebase Database Programming Part 4. And we are very excited to take you into this lesson. Let's see what's inside this. Tools use Xcode version 11.4.1 and Apple Developer Docs. Prerequisites: you have to look at the following previous lessons on Firebase and table views in Objective-C in this series. Firebase Database Programming Part 1, 2, 3, smaller lessons, right? And table views, dynamic content especially, right? Have to look at some of the previous lessons in Objective-C in this series as well. In this session, you will learn Firebase real-time database, searching for data and updating data, and discussion about Firebase real-time database API classes, which is very, very important, viewers. lesson plan, we are going to do practical demonstrations. Okay, let's start with the practical demonstration now. So this is where we stopped in the previous lesson. So we got the app and it can insert the data, and the data inserts will go into the Firebase database. So if you haven't looked at the previous lesson, make sure to look at the previous lesson before this, right? So the data is saved. Now in this lesson, we are going to do the search, right? Search and the update, right? Let's see how to do that. So if you look at the developer docs under Firebase Realtime database, now it's very important because there are a couple of sections under Firebase. I'm talking about real-time database, read and write data. You got a section called delete the data, and it says simplest way to delete the data is called the remove value on a reference, right? So let's see how to do it, right? So now in the previous lesson, what we have done is set value. So like set value, what it's asking us to do is to call remove value, right? So let us see, if you want to remove an employee, you can refer to employee's document and then give the employee number and simply say remove value, right? So let's see how we are going to do it now. So first of all, I need to have a method attached to the delete button, right? So let's do it now. Let's attach a method for the delete button, right? Okay, so let's click on the delete button. Let's go to the assistant editor, right? And let's drag it to the bottom, right? The delete button. Okay, awesome. Let's call it as delete clicked. Awesome, right? So let's open that. Let's go down over here, right? Delete clicked. So because the API said it's remove value, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same say try catch block, right? Try catch finally, and of course I want to clear the screen also after deleting, right? So I'm just copying that code and I'm putting it here, right? And I'm going to say, okay, when it comes to deleting, let us say I want to delete by the employee number, so I don't want this part, right? I don't want that. And once again, let's look at this, but over here it is delete successful, right? It's not save. And the alert, I want to say delete successful, right? And if there's a problem, I want to say problem in delete, right? Okay, let's say unsuccessful, right? Over here also same, delete, right? Problem in delete, right? And it's unsuccessful, just in case it goes to the catch block if there's an error, right? So try catch, right? End of delete method, right? So that is a try catch, just in case, you know. So if there's a problem, it will go to the catch when it's deleting and it will show a small alert, right? That's this displays the alert, right? Okay, awesome, right? And if it's deletion successful also, it displays alert, right? And says delete success. Now this is where you focus on deleting, right? So the API said, the developer doc said it's remove value, right? So instead of set value, you will have to call remove value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this part, right? And let's call that method over here, right? Let's say remove value, right? Now when you look at this, you can see it's a method and it's returning void and there are no parameters. But I will show you, if you look at set values, see, when you look at set value, you had a parameter, right? That is why when we insert, that is why I will show you, when we save, that is why when you set value when we gave the data, because the API says, see, I will show you again, set, it says there are parameters, but if I say remove value, there's no parameter, which means it just removes this data straight away, right? Let us say it removes employee number, given employee number, right? Just removing the value, right? So let's see what's going to happen. Let's compile this, right? Compile this. So it says delete successful, and also let me see, delete successful. Yeah, and it clears the screen, but I prefer to pass this clear screen also, just only if it successfully deletes, right? So probably after here, right? That's the best place. So even in the save, in the scenario for saving, I prefer to clear the screen only if it successfully deletes, right? So that means here, right, after the delete successful message. So that's something minor, right? Okay, Now, so we wrote the code and it compiles, right? Let's run and see whether it works, right? So let's run and let's see what's going to happen. Okay, viewers, right? Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, let's say I want to delete employee number 6, right? So let's put employee number 6 here and see whether it works, right? Let's click delete. So when I click delete, as you can see, it deleted employee number 6 from the Firebase database for document, and it says delete. That means it's working, friends, right? Let's delete employee number 5 as well, right? Employee number 5, right? Let's say delete. Awesome, right? So it works. So that means the delete function is working. So you are deleting data from the database now, right? Let's delete number 7 as well. Okay, delete. Awesome, right? Now what I want to do next is, so I know the delete function is working, but let's look at little more detail in the API, right? Let's have a small discussion about how this is functioning, how this is working by looking at the API. Okay, let's do it now. Okay, viewers. So now when it comes to looking at the API, there's something important we are looking before that. That is, we need to know what to go and look in API and where to go and look. What do I mean? Okay. For example, if you want to look at remove value, where is it in the API, right? In which class is it in the API, right? So that's what we have to look here first, right? So where is it? In which class is it in the API, right? So when you look at this code over here, what happens here is self.ref. What is this self.ref, right? So if you look at your .h, you can see that is ref is your database reference. So on here, so that means when you say self.ref, it is calling a function on FIR database reference. So what's the function it's calling on FIR database reference? Child, right? So then let's see what does that returns. Let's start with that. So let's look at FIR database reference, right? To start with from the API, right? So if you search in the API, right? Let's say if you search in the API, you will see in the Firebase under classes, right? You will see FIR database reference, right? So now if I just click on that, right? Let's click on that FIR database reference. Let's keep it here, right? Okay, then it shows you the content and it shows you the method. See, the child is a the method, right? So if I click on child, see, it's getting the reference to the children, right? So what does it returns, right? So it returns a FIR database reference for the specified path. So when you call child, right, it's you give a string. That is why when I call the child thing, hold on. So that's why when I call the child in my code, right? Let's look at my code here, right? See, when I call child, right, I'm passing a string. That is because the API tells me that I have to pass a string, the path, right? That means which element I want to access. And the child is returning a FIR database. So it's again returning a FIR database reference. Now I know that it's returning. Now I know what the child does, right? Okay. Then on that return value, right? So on my database, employees, so which is the employees, right? The parent node, right? Employees. And then on that again, because it's a FIR database reference, again I'm calling child, which means again it returns, because it's again calling child, that then again it's referring to the employee number, right? But then that returns again a FIR database reference, because the child function returns a FIR database reference. Awesome. Then on that reference is what I'm calling remove value. So on FIR database reference class, there should be a method called remove value, right? See, it's here. See, look at my mouse, remove value. So it removes the data, right? And there are no parameters and no return type. That is why I was just able to call it. Awesome, right? That is how you figure out. Let's look at the save method, right? Save method also, we have done something similar, right? We call the child, that means we get a FIR database reference. Then on that again we call the next child. So that means again we are getting a FIR database reference. And on that we are calling set value. That means set value should be a method in FIR database reference. Let's see whether it's a method in FIR database reference, right? Let's see, right? Set value. See, it's a method. See, it's a method in FIR data. I'm inside FIR database reference, right? See, it's a method. Set value, right? Awesome. Set value. What does it say? Writes data into the Firebase database location. So that is insert. See, now you understand things, right? That is a insert, right? You see, my friends, right? So that is a insert, right? So see, it writes data. So the set value writes data. This will override any data at the location and all child location. So if you if there's existing value and if you set value another one, it just overrides the previous value. So data types you can set is, to the set values you can set strings, numbers, or you can set a dictionary with key value pairs, right? Or even array, right? A dictionary with key value pairs, key value, right? So that is what we have been doing here, right? See, we have been setting key value pairs, right? So see, we are setting key value pairs, right? Awesome, right? So now you understand what we do over there, right? Awesome, right? So now you are getting the hang of this, right? You are getting the API little by little, right? So we need this knowledge when we move forward, right? We need this knowledge, my friends, when we move forward. Now let's see what's next. Okay, viewers, so we completed the practical demonstration. Let's go forward and see what's next. So the conclusion is we connected to the Firebase real-time database and we did the delete method. Actually, we didn't do the search and the update. What we did instead was the delete method. The search and the update we will be do immediately in the next lesson, right? So we did that, and we did Firebase real-time database API discussion, right? Very important. And we did. You can find the link to download the source code for the projects done in this session in the relevant download section, right? Reference Apple Developer Docs. What's next? It's very important to have a look at the next lesson to complete this app, right? Have a look at our other videos on Firebase. Have a look at other basic videos on Objective-C. Also make sure to have a look at our other series on machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data science and IoT, because that's where the future is, right? So we are very excited to see you in the next video, and let's catch you in the next video.